Hello and welcome to this Advent devotional. We're continuing to look at the characters in the Nativity story. And today we're going to continue to look at Mary's life. And we read today from Luke chapter 1, verses 39 to 45. At that time, Mary got ready and hurried to a town in the hill country of Judea, where she entered Zechariah's home and met Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the baby leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. In a loud voice she exclaimed, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the child you will bear. But why am I so favored that the mother of my Lord should come to me? As soon as the sound of your greeting reached my ears, the baby in my womb leaped for joy. Blessed is she who has believed that what the Lord has said to her will be accomplished." There are a couple of interesting things in this little encounter that I want us to know. Mary rushes right over to her cousin, Elizabeth, who the angel had told her was expecting a baby, whom that same angel had also already been to Elizabeth's husband Zechariah while he was offering incense of prayer in the temple. And there was a little problem there about Zechariah's response to the angel, but Mary, who had been told by the angel that Elizabeth was pregnant, in response to Mary's question of how can this be? I'm still a virgin. The angel tells her that Elizabeth, who is advanced in years, is already pregnant, and that the Lord will be working a miracle in Mary's life of an even greater magnitude than Elizabeth. So the first thing that she does is gets up and runs to be there with Elizabeth. And it's kind of interesting because I think it's a point there for us to realize that we have the opportunity to be quick to pursue what we know to be reliable sources for our faith and to pursue them wholeheartedly. Mary knew that Elizabeth would be a reliable source for her faith because the angel had given her as a testimony for Elizabeth to lay hold of. And we need to lay hold of and grab a hold of those things that bolster our faith, and to do it quickly. Not to be lagging, but to pursue reasons to build up our faith quickly. The second thing we want to note is that when Mary greeted Elizabeth, that the baby, it says, leapt in Elizabeth's womb, and she was filled with the Holy Spirit, Elizabeth was, and that caused her to shout out this blessing to Mary. Now, Methodists used to be called shouting Methodists because when the Holy Spirit would come upon a group of worshiping Methodists, sometimes it just the enthusiasm, they shouted out words of praise to God. And there's nothing wrong with that enthusiasm. We ought to be instant in our praise to God when He gives us a blessing, when His presence is made known to us. And the third thing I want us to note as we listen to that story and think about that story is the response that Elizabeth has indeed to Mary. And it's a response of blessing. She humbly acknowledges the Lord's presence. Why has the mother of my Lord come to me? And she gives this testimony of joy that she felt within herself with John in her womb. And then she sends a blessing for Mary's faith to believe that God would do what He said He was going to do. And we need to learn to recognize when the Lord is in our presence, or when we are in the presence of the Lord, and to experience joy, to let joy well up in us, to not try to stifle what God might bring to our heart, and then to be willing to bless that channel, that person, whoever it is, whatever it is that brings us this knowledge of God's loving presence with us. I pray today that you will experience the presence of God and the joy that comes from that and receive a blessing from Him. Have a wonderful day.